So in today's video we're going to have a look at making a bit of a brunch here. So we've got some chicken that we're going to do. We have 2 eggs we're going to cook using these egg holders for poached eggs, and then we're going to slice up some potatoes for something a bit crispier, like a roasted kind of potato setup. Right, so to get started, the first thing we need to do is do some preheating. So what I'm going to do, just got some breadcrumbs in there. We're just going to do the preheat, and during the preheat I'm also going to preheat these egg cups. So to do that, what we do need to do is put some butter in here. So I'm just going to drop a little bit of butter into the cup, and a little bit of butter into the other cup. So we're going to do that, and then I'm going to pretty much just leave it like that. When we come back, then we're going to put in the chicken, the eggs, and of course we're going to do the toast. So I'm going to pop that in there, and we're going to do that for 180, and we're just going to do that for 5 minutes. 4 minutes should be fine. Just get it up to temperature. We'll see you in a bit. So the preheat is well underway. What we're going to do now is just maybe get a couple of things ready here. So what we need to do is get the eggs into cups, so we can just pour them into those egg holders. So let's do that. So one egg in that one. Right, so the eggs are ready to go. Now what we want to do is maybe just do something with the chicken. So I was going to use the board, but I don't think that's really necessary. So we're going to move that out of the way. And then we'll just move the plate forward. And what I'm going to do here is just take the fork. Just going to put in some holes. Not that this will do anything, but maybe it does. So I just like to do that. Yep. And then what I like to do is take some olive oil, and we'll just kind of do a light drizzle of olive oil. Chicken. These are fairly substantial pieces of chicken, so I imagine they're going to take a little while to cook. And then we're going to just put on some of this garlic and herb spice. Right, do it on this side. Turn it over, and we'll do the same thing on this side. So a couple of holes, and a little bit of olive oil, and then some spice. Right, and the rest of the spice I'm just going to lay down there on the plate. Right, so there we've done a bit of the preparation on the chicken, so that's going to infuse nicely when it cooks, and I'm just going to do that to kind of massage it in a bit. Right, and again on that side. Right, so that's pretty much ready to go, and we're going to have 2 layers this will be the first layer. So in the first layer we're going to add the chicken. So I'm going to put that on there. And now we just want to get those potatoes ready. So I'm going to move that back. Alright, so the potato we're just going to do a roasting. So I like my potatoes with the skins on, and right, and then maybe like a thin wedge, something like that. We have some Egyptian geese in the background. We won't be doing any Egyptian geese cooking today. And then, right, so get our potatoes ready. And now what I'm going to do is just pick up some of the olive oil that was here. And we're just going to give these a nice rubbing of olive oil. And also we're going to pick up that spice that was left and just mix that all up. Right, so our potatoes are looking great. The preheat's done. Right, so let's get cracking then on the cooking. Just going to wipe the hands. Right, now we're going to do it. And we are going to do specific layers for what we're doing. Now what I need to do is move this plate out the way. And now what I need to do is pull that out. I need to move them to the side. And what we need to do now is the egg. So we take the egg and we gently pour that into the cup. Although gently is a difficult word to use. Right, so there we have our eggs in. Then this layer gets applied. Be like that. So it fits nicely on top of the eggs. So you can see there on top of the eggs. And now what we need to do is make space for the toast. So the chicken I'm going to move over to the side. The toast will just pop in like that. Right. Right, so there we have the pieces of toast, and got one more piece of toast to go, which we'll add at the top. And then right on the top we're going to add our potatoes. So potatoes here. Right, so we have the eggs at the bottom, then we have the chicken in the middle, and then we have these roasted potatoes on top. So a real mix of elements. And the last thing we need to do is put that last piece of toast in. So just wiping my fingers. Now we won't be able to put it up unless we fit it in there. Right, so we've got our toast in there. In fact, what might be a better idea, no, we're going to leave it like that. Okay, and then I'm going to slide all of that into the cooker, and then what I'm going to do is push the temperature up to 200 because there's a lot happening in there. We're going to run it for 15 minutes. Let's see, on the chicken, we're going to do it at 20 to 25 minutes, 20 minutes at 200 degrees, and then we should have our breakfast ready. Right, let's see how that goes. See you in a bit. Right, so we've been going for about 5 minutes, and we've got chicken and we've got eggs going, so we know that there's going to be a time difference for the different elements. So we just want to have a look and see what's going on. So we knew that this piece of toast was near the top, and we didn't want that to burn, so we're going to take that piece out. The potatoes are coming along nicely, the eggs are coming along nicely. Now normally we know that the toast takes about 5 minutes. So I'm just having a look here now to see how the other toast is doing, because it's packed near the bottom there, but it looks to be doing fine. The potatoes are doing fine, the chicken is doing fine. So I think what we're going to do is give that another 5 minutes. Right, we'll let that carry on, and then we'll be back to check the eggs. We're going to check in about another 3 minutes, so we'll see you then. So it's time to check on the eggs, and that might take a little bit of fancy footwork then. So we're going to open up the fryer, and now we need to move some stuff around so we can actually get down to them. So the first thing we need to do is move the top layer. So to do that, and I need to move it somewhere so we can have a look. Just going to put that over here somewhere, maybe put it over there. Potatoes definitely need to cook for a little bit longer, so I'm just going to put that there. Then what I'm going to do is move the chicken. So to move the chicken, luckily I can grab it with that. Right. And now we can have a look at those eggs. Eggs are pretty much done. So what I'm going to do is take the eggs out. Let's see if I can do it with this. That worked quite nicely. So we'll take out the egg cup and the other egg cup. Right, now the toast of course was stuck at the bottom, so that hasn't toasted too much, but it is a little bit crispy. What we need to do now is put the chicken back, and what I'm going to do now for the chicken is I'm going to turn that around. So I'll just turn the chicken over. You'll see it's cooking, but it still has quite a way to go. These are really thick pieces of chicken, so we're just going to turn them over. Right, we'll turn them over and get them going, and of course the potatoes need to go in a bit longer. So we'll grab those and let them go a bit longer. And what I'm going to do now is not put the toast back in, and just let the rest of the food cook really nicely. In fact, maybe what I'm going to do is no, going to leave it like that. Right, so we're going to let this go in, and we're going to enjoy our eggs in the meantime. Right, so we're going to let that cook. It has another 15 or 14 minutes to go or so, 13 minutes to go, and then we'll be coming back. So in the meantime, what I can do, the toast is crispy, it just isn't that golden brown color. So what I'm going to do is just put some butter on that toast, and the way I'm going to do it, usual method, back of the spoon. That way you don't destroy the toast. And then again on the back, and then there we go. Right, so we've got our toast coming on nicely here. It's looking good. It's just not the golden brown color. And then we have our eggs, which we just recently took out. And you'll see it's not completely hard. I'm just going to loosen that a bit. Right, then what I can do is just, normally you would be able to slide that out. Let's just make sure everything's loosened up. And then what I'm going to do is just, we're just going to turn it over. So we have our egg, and you can see it cooked all the way through. Second egg. And this egg is also nicely done. And I just pop that over, and you can see that the eggs are perfectly done in the cooker. So all that we need to do now is have a taste. So with that in mind, let's have a look and see. So there's our egg, not too hard. Very nice. And you'll actually see that the egg is still a little bit runny, but still hard enough, and even the yolk is nicely cooked. So eggs are actually perfectly done here. Yeah. So I highly recommend using those egg cups to cook the egg. So now all that's left is the chicken and the potatoes. So the chicken and the potatoes are nearly done. Thought we'd get some coffee going in the meantime. So got some coffee, and we're going to just do that on the gas cooker. So just going to put in just 2 spoons of coffee, make it nice and strong, not too strong, and just pat that down. Right, so that's nicely compacted, and already have the water in. Right, we have that on, and then there we have the gas cooker going. We're just going to let that simmer so that we have some coffee ready with our chicken and potatoes. So less than a minute to go. Just let the gas settle. There we go. Don't have to turn it so high. So it pretty much turned it all the way down. There you go, and just enough to keep that happy. So see you in a bit. Right, so we finished the bacon and the eggs on toast. So I'm going to move that out the way. And get a fresh plate. And knife. Right, so let's have a look and see what we got here. And maybe some tongs. Right, so potatoes, golden brown. So we did them for the full 20 minutes on the top row. Wow, those came out really good. Okay, so they definitely done. They were lying down on the one side, so we did turn them over after about 5 minutes, but as you can see, yeah, perfectly done. And then of course we no longer need that, and the coffee is cooking. Oops, don't need that one, we actually need this one. So we're going to move that out the way, and then we're just going to take one piece of chicken because they're such big pieces. We want to make sure it's cooked all the way through. So I'm going to put that in there, and then we're just going to, so the chicken does need to go a little bit longer. They were really big pieces, so let's check the other piece. Also quite a big piece, maybe not as big. So when it comes to these, really a little bit better, but also go a little bit longer. So when it comes to really thick pieces of chicken, probably a good idea just to cut them in half down the middle. That way you reduce the cooking time. And I'm going to just put that back in there, and we're just going to put that in for another 5 minutes. Also at 200, and of course the coffee is ready, so we'll turn that off. Right, see you in a bit. So while we're waiting for the chicken to finish, I thought maybe we just have a look at the potatoes. Seems they are done, and we'll just cut it open so you can have a look. And if you look inside, you'll see that it's perfectly cooked, nice and soft, and of course crispy on the outside, nice and soft on the inside. What I am going to do to speed up the chicken a bit is just cut it into smaller pieces, or should I say thinner pieces. So I'm going to take this big piece and we're just going to slice it down the middle. And well, actually the chicken is looking very cooked. Let's give that a taste. Very nice. And the other piece. Right, so it turns out that we don't need to cook the the full cycle that we had envisaged. Chicken is great. Our coffee will be ready. So there we have that awesome brewed coffee, hot off the stove. Not too strong, but strong enough for that morning caffeine boost. Right, so we had the breakfast, we had the eggs on toast, and then we made the potatoes and the chicken for kind of a mid-morning brunch, kind of early lunch. So I think I'm going to let that cool down and then we'll get stuck in a bit later. Let's taste the coffee. Yeah, that's really good. Nice and hot. Piping hot, in fact. Let that cool down. And then what we'll do is we'll have our chicken and potato and combine that with a light salad for a nice kind of morning brunch. Great. Well, let's have a look how much time was left. So of that additional 5 minutes, we only did another minute. So as you can see, the perfect way for a great morning breakfast and brunch. Great. Well, thanks for watching.